Hey everyone, it's Mike from Orderflows here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you could join me for this video where I'll be comparing my Orderflows Trader software, which runs on the NinjaTrader 8 platform, to the Volumetric Trader, I guess it's called, on NinjaTrader. If you get the paid version of NinjaTrader, you get access to their volumetric charts, which is their version of the footprint. Because, this is a question I get a lot. Like, why do I need your software when NinjaTrader already has a footprint on there? And you're going to see the main differences and, why I think my software, which is an add-on, right, takes the footprint farther than a lot of the native footprint softwares out there. Okay, so this is, my basic order flow footprint chart, right, which shows the delta, the max min deltas, etc. You have the imbalances in the bar. You have point of controls. All right, so let's open up a volumetric chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new chart. Here, again, this is an E-mini 1 minute chart, so I'll just keep it the same. You got to go in if you have the paid version of NinjaTrader, right? Only on the paid version of NinjaTrader. If you got the free version, you don't have access to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to change it, from, minute chart, whatever, to volumetric. So you're going to scroll down there. We'll keep it the same, 1 minute. Bid ask for the delta type. You don't need tick replay on their chart. On my chart, you do. That's one of the differences. And you can see down here, volumetric, chart type, name, volumetric, just keep it the same. Bid ask, I'll just open up a bid ask chart. And we'll open it up real quick. Whoops, hit OK, not cancel. And there you go. Okay, so obviously you're going to have to play around with it a bit to get it the way you want. So let's take a look at some of the things here. So this is your footprint, right? Your basic one. Now, of course, you can customize it. So you go into, again, back into the data series. And you're going to scroll down here. This is where you're going to find a lot of these settings down in here. All right, so let's go back here. So maybe you don't want the bar on the edge. Okay, maybe you want it in the middle. You're going to hit center, open, close bar. All right, click apply. Right now it's in the middle. You can show a profile, right, of the volume, and that's the delta profile, I would guess. Or actually, no, it's just the regular volume profile. You can sort of see it in here. Now, this has always been a big bone of contention for me. I don't know why a lot of these trading softwares love having the black background. Okay, I know Bloomberg, obviously, I've used Bloomberg for 30 years. It's got a black background. I think, they're trying to look more professional like Bloomberg. But when you read a book, it's not black paper, it's white paper with black text, right? That's why when you see my software, right, when you see it running, right, it's white background with black text, right? I think that's, that's me. I think it's just easier to pick things up, especially, with the black background. When you're looking at coloring things in, they sort of blend into the back a lot easier than if you're looking at a white background. But again, hey, that's just me. What do I know? Okay, let's go back to these settings in here. So, again, I prefer the candle in the middle. I just find it a lot easier. So let's open this up, see what else we got in here. Okay, so you can show the profile. I don't know what the sensitivity is. The display size filter, say you just want to see price levels that have more than a certain volume. I don't know, call it 250, right? This is E-mini 1 minute chart. That's what it would look like, right? You're seeing these levels in there. I don't have that on mine. I don't think that's, I just never found any value in that. I could be completely wrong. Let's go back here now. Imbalances. Okay, you're going to check that. Their default's at 1.5, which is pretty not much. Me personally, I think you should use at least 4. As low as I'd go is probably about 3. Because to be honest, at 1.5, you're going to get a shit ton of imbalances. All right, I mean that's not much of an imbalance. I mean it's greater than 1, I guess, but you want something that makes a statement. Right, that leaves no question in your mind that this is an imbalance. It's more than double. It's double. It's 4 to 1. And you're going to look at it diagonally. What's the other choices? You got diagonal or horizontal. That's interesting, horizontal. But keep it diagonal. So you're going to see here the imbalances: 105 against 16, 29 against 127. Looks like the buying imbalances are colored blue for buying, red for selling, or magenta, cyan and magenta colors. Okay, maybe there's a way to adjust it. I don't know why this one's showing up as yellow. I think that's what they're doing here, is because I don't see a setting in here for, yeah, here it is, show maximum. Okay, let me see what that is. Take that off. Right? Yeah, their show maximum is actually their point of control. Okay, and it's coloring it. It's coloring the volumes a certain level. So, for example, yellow. Okay, right, that's why you see 127 and 290. So you're not even seeing this imbalance because it's already coloring the price levels or the volumes yellow. So it's overriding that imbalance because you have the point of control there. That is, I guess, their point of control. Interesting. Okay, so let's just go back up here. So minimum delta for imbalance 10. Okay, I think you need that because you don't want to be looking at an imbalance of 1 against 4, especially if you're using their default of 1.5. If you got 1 against 3, you'd have an imbalance. So yeah, color dominant side. What does that look like? Well, again, on a black background, it's nearly impossible to see. That's why I think you should use a white background. All right, so they got color, body, candle, outline. This color. That's fine. I guess you can't even change it. Solid whites. I guess that's this one going around there. Color for up bars green, color for down bars red, black for doji, which kind of makes no sense if you got a black background and you're calling the bar black, right? I can see it. See if there's any dojis in here. I guess I wouldn't see it because it's colored black, right? Well, this is. Okay, here's a doji candle. It's colored black. Yeah, I guess you can see it because its outline is white. Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at some of these other settings in here. Okay, so where was I? Color for doji, box outline, well, box grid. Yeah, here. So, yes, that's. I think transparent. See what happens. Nothing. It doesn't actually change. So I'm not sure what their box grid is. I would have thought it's like sort of this box. You can sort of barely see it there. Maybe that's this box outline. Maybe change that to transparent. Okay, so that box around the bar is gone. Okay, so that's what that is. Color for positive strength, green. Color for negative strength. Buying and balance here is the colors are cyan and magenta. The show maximum, right, is that point of control, right? See, I take it off. Then you see your imbalances coming in. Personally, I think they should adjust that here. Whoops, take this off here. Okay, put that back on just so I know where that is. I mean, if you got an imbalance like sort of in the middle and it's coming in with the point of control, I'd like to know that rather than, you might miss it, honestly. Hide text, I don't know what that is. Let's see what we're hiding. Okay, so that's the volumes. Yeah, I mean, some people, they like to look at sort of a volume profile like that. Okay, I can grasp that, I guess. Show bar statistics. Okay, let's take a look what we're going to see down here. Hit apply. Okay, so it's going to be down here. Trades, volume, buy volume, sell volume, delta in a bar, delta percentage, cumulative delta, max min delta. They got a couple more, delta change, delta SH, delta SL. Okay. Can't adjust the size from in here. Color for base. Color for bases. Base of base. Let me just play around with colors, see what changes, if anything. So right now it's yellow. Okay, change it to indigo. Looks like something, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what that one is for. I'd have to mess around with it a little bit deeper. Again, I don't use their yeah, it's this one, color for the base. So whatever, the background of these colors are. Statistic grid, color. Okay, that's the grid of this statistics on the bottom. And I think that's it. Okay. Now, one thing, right, if you want to go in and change some of this stuff, you'd have to go to properties, right? So say I want to make the fonts bigger, right? Like the axis or the stuff here on the side. Go into the chart properties, change it from 11 to something bigger, 16, right? Hit apply, so obviously it's much bigger. Chart background, if I were to change it from black, I'm kind of curious, if I go to white, okay, now I'd have to change the text color some way. Maybe change that to black, see what comes up. Okay, well that's this text here. That's the text on the side. Obviously, crosshairs, axis, change that to black. Okay, so there. Grid line, horizontal, that's the grids that are appearing on here. I don't know why you can't change it from inside there, but let me just change these to transparent. That should clear up and it look like an Excel spreadsheet. I just wanted to figure out how I could change the colors of the numbers. Okay, because I can't read it if it's white. Default is white. It's not going to be very useful to me. Just looking through here. I don't see anything for text in here. Oh, here, color for text. Maybe that one. Change that to black. Okay, there you go. So yeah, it's a little easier to read. And again, you can play around with some of these colors. I just wish that if you're going to use color for maximum, then you'd probably want to use something. You're not going to, well, I mean, I guess you could use something dark, like a dark blue. Okay, here. I wish you had a choice to make it bold or something, or just put a box around it. Just something that would just really grab your attention. Because you'd really need a color. I guess it's not optimized for a white background. I mean, maybe you could play around with it a bit more, sort of figure it out. But I mean, as a basic footprint, I mean, it's manageable. It's workable. You could figure out that, yeah, I mean, the area where the blue is obviously, in this case, I changed it to blue from yellow, is your colors. Now, my order flow footprint chart, okay, you can see here, I think it's a lot easier to read, right? Red for selling imbalances, blue for buying imbalances. Point of control is clearly marked, right? So, for example, let's go here, right? You can see, let's compare. Let's do this here. I'll move to a new window here, okay? Sort of compare it side by side. Now let's go back to an E-mini chart here. Okay, and I'll just do this. Okay, so here you got your point of control 177 against 247. Here it's your point of control is coming in there. See the 1, okay, the 119. The 0, the 35 up here, 87. Yeah, here you can put the profile on there. Okay. I do use point of controls a lot, and I just don't like that you don't have that point of control option on here. Maybe there is. I'm just not seeing it. Maybe they're watching my videos. I have a feeling they do watch my videos. Maybe they could take this and build off of it, put some other things in there. But watch this, okay? On my Orderflows Trader software, which sits on NinjaTrader, right? This is why people say, well, I'm not going to spend money on your software when I can get it on NinjaTrader for free. Yeah, this is your basic footprint here. But this is where it takes it much further, okay? Prominent point of controls. Okay, just looking at prominent point of controls here. Okay, I'm going to draw them out until tested. Let's add those on here. Give it a second to come up here. And look at this, right? If you don't think something like prominent point of controls are important, this is where we're trading right now, here, right now, right? What time is it? It's 2:45 in the afternoon. Prominent point of control, 3 prominent point of controls right at the same level. You would never notice that on this chart. Well, first of all, it's hard to notice if there's a point of control here. You sort of have to guess that. but you got prominent point of control. It's drawing out this line because it's not trading back into it. Got another prominent point of control, another prominent point of control, and the market rallied, right? And if you don't think prominent point of controls are that important, let's just sort of go back here. This is just one of the tools that's on my software here. Here's a bearish prominent point of control. You can see the line being drawn out. It had a nice sell-off from there. Okay, there's another bullish prominent point of control. Nice rally from there. Here's one. You know, it started to go up, then came down. Stop you out. Okay, fine. Got another bullish prominent point of control here. Nice rally going up. Even earlier, I remember at the low of the day, initially in the morning, right? Right in here, same thing. Two bullish prominent point of controls at that same level. 1 minute before the cash opened, another 1 minute, 3 minutes after the cash opened, a nice rally. Where the market sell off to? It sold off right to that prominent point of control, and then it bounced and rallied up, right? But you don't even have point of controls on their chart. It blows my mind. What else? I mean, that's just one of our tools, right? Maybe you want to analyze, we'll just do the exhaustion prints, okay? Change that to until tested. I'll shut off for now. I'll just disable the prominent point of control so you're not confused. But, we've got a few point of control things on here. We'll look at the exhaustion prints of 9. Okay. Exhaustion print, exhaustion print, exhaustion print, bullish one, bullish one, bullish one, bearish. On here, you'd have to manage what you're seeing and make note of it. Whereas on the Orderflows Trader, it's highlighted to you. Okay. What about some delta tools? Let's take a look here. Okay, let's turn off the exhaustion prints. Well, just a basic thing, a very important thing in order flow, stacked imbalances. Let's talk about that real quick. On here, I don't even think it even highlights stacked imbalances. I mean, if there is a setting for it, honestly, I don't know where it is on here. I've yet to find it. In there, here they got cumulative delta, market depth map, trade detector, volume profile, blah, blah, blah. But they don't even have a basic thing of stacked imbalances. Were there even any stacked imbalances today? I don't know. So, well, see, that's why we don't have it. It's not important. But, in some markets, okay, sure I got it turned on, right? I was clicking my charts really quick here. Yeah, stacked imbalance 3. Go back. Here, right? This was yesterday. Got this nice stacked imbalance. You see how the market rallied up from that, right? Stacked imbalance here, stacked imbalance here. I remember yesterday we had a lot of stacked imbalances up and down. There was one big one very early right here yesterday. That's just a basic thing. I mean, it's not even on their volumetric. I mean, if you guys are hearing the NinjaTrader, add these things in there. For the love of God, help the traders out. What else? I mean, delta, right? I mean, we got tools to analyze market weakness by looking at the delta. There, market weakness. Let's take a look here. These are all built into my footprint, my Orderflows Trader footprint. Okay, so people always asking, what's the difference between yours and the one I could get for free on NinjaTrader? Well, the NinjaTrader one is a basic footprint chart. If you think you've got the skills to analyze this, then yes, you don't need my software. But if you want to get a leg up, right, let the software do some of the analysis for you. I mean, here's a little delta weakness there, but right here, there's one there, but there's a beautiful one here at 11 this morning, with a nice move up. Get another one up here. So, even value areas. To me, value areas are very important. Understanding where the market is trading around value. I'll make that, change that to until tested value areas. I've even got two settings. I got value areas and engulfing value areas. Now on Ninja, the volumetric charts, again, if you have the paid version of NinjaTrader, if you go into the settings of, they do have in there, I'll give them this much, volume profile, okay? And you could do it by bars. Okay, so example, I'm on a 1 minute volumetric chart. I guess I could put it on here. I don't know how it's plotting on here. Looks like it's offset by a bar, honestly. Probably have to change the offset on that, because it's where is it here? Ticks per level resolution bar. I know what it's doing. It's putting here. Right? So for example, here, go back. What it's doing is it's plotting the profile one bar out. So even though the current bar is trading right here, this profile, I can't see my crosshairs. Let me just get this, make this crosshairs a little bit easier to see. Change this to a white background, but let me just make it bigger. So what it's doing is actually printing out. So for example, this bar here, right, this big candle here, it's putting its profile here. Okay. And I guess the one nice thing is this one does have the point of control, right? This yellow area is that bar's point of control, I guess. It's hard to tell, even though it's just not giving me some good information here. Hard to tell with this. It's very overlapping. But yeah, anyway, you get the idea, right? So there's differences in the footprints, right? Value areas. Value areas. I mean, there's ways you could sort of cobble it together on the NinjaTrader volumetric chart and their order flow tools. So again, you know, I created, I just want to say I, you know, it's the royal I, me and my programmer. I got to give him a lot of credit because he's a hard worker and he understands what I need when I explain it to him. All these tools that we have in the Orderflows Trader software are there for a reason, right? And they've been copied by other software vendors out there. Fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're not the originator of it, so they don't always teach it the right way that it's supposed to be, in my opinion, utilized. But anyway, guys, I'm not trying to put down the volumetric charts. I mean, it's useful for traders that want to get into order flow. Don't get me wrong. You know, I support every tool, but you know, I do get this question a lot: is what's the difference between my software, which sits on NinjaTrader, and the one that's available on the paid version of NinjaTrader? Okay, so I hope that sort of helps you understand. But again, we've got a lot of tools on here that's not available in the volumetric chart. So for example, right, we've got buying and selling tails, delta divergence, exhaustion prints, imbalance reversals, inverse volume imbalance, market sweep detector, market weakness detector, order flow sequencing, ratios, PLC slingshot, prominent point of control, stacked imbalance, thin prints, value areas, zero prints, ladder contents, of course, unfinished business. We've got volume imbalances. You even got the volume profile if you need it. But you know, we got a lot of tools that we put in there, right? Ours is an add-on for NinjaTrader, right? It's not going to replace Ninja. You still need NinjaTrader to run our software. So I hope that answers your questions out there for everyone that has been asking me, you know, what's the differences between Orderflows Trader? You know, because if you're going to get the paid version of NinjaTrader, I don't know what it costs now, $1,400 or something. Then my software, which is an additional cost, of like 750, people are like, why do I got to spend that when I've already have it? Well, this is the differences, okay? It's like, why should I put, I don't know how to compare it. It's an add-on, basically, It's just like if you understand anything about high-performance cars, right, you can get your engines modified, right, to make it perform better. Mine is that modification to make your chart perform better, so to speak. Anyway, I hope that answers you guys' questions. And again, if you're interested in the software, the link is below. But Orderflow is very robust. There's a lot of information in the footprint. But as a trader, you need to understand what it is you're looking at, and that's why the Orderflows Trader helps traders understand exactly what they're looking at. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.